Right, and just on that note, we want now to cross over to our City Center studios and speak to our senior political affairs reporter, Duncan Khaemba, who has been following up on this story. And good evening, Duncan. As of today, we have 243 days to the August 8th of 2017 general election, and we're already seeing this first event in that new schedule being bogged down by the opposition. Just talk to us about the sentiments around, this new schedule.
Yes, Sharon, and it's 234 days and around 12, 11 hours and a couple of minutes. When you look at IBC, clearly it's race against time, and now the reality is dawning that the 8th August 2017 Tuesday date is inching closer and closer, and that's why now there's a flurry of activity. Again, the opposition doing what it does best, sensing that it doesn't want to take anything to chance, and that's why they are raising a red flag. But according to IEBC, time is not on their side. Remember that the commission is not in place, therefore the secretariat has to move and move with speed. That's why you can see now what is happening. The panic is actually clear and or rather explicit. Very early in the morning, the CEO said the audit exercise begins today, and that was the breaking news. Few minutes ago at around 7, there was a new actually update that the audit exercise now kicks off on Monday 19th. That tells you the state of panic that the commission, the secretariat is in, and therefore they have to move with speed. However, the bone of contention here appears to be three things: the parameters, the methodology to be used in the audit, and the specifications. Remember that initially the opposition was very, very clear. They wanted a fresh voter registration exercise. To them, the so-called register of voters is non-existent, and as such, they wanted a clean, to begin on a clean slate. However, they were told because of financial constraints, time factor, we can only work with what we have, and therefore, in coming to striking a common ground or the middle ground, they agreed that then they have to audit the existing voter register, or the cleanup, to clean up the existing register. And that's why the opposition, when they agreed that, yes, we have to clean the existing one, they wanted specifications, the parameters, the methodology. And if you are keen for you to know that perhaps politics is at play, IBC has said there's no law on the methodology to be used, and as such, nobody can lay claim that we had to agree on the methodology, which means the commission has leeway to do out or to carry out the audit. And then they wanted to agree on what specific or what particular international body, audit firm, an international audit firm that has a reputation that they wanted to be brought in. And that's why the opposition says it doesn't want, or rather it doesn't recognize a Kenyan outfit by the acronym KPMG rather. So that is where the problem is, Sharon.
All right, Duncan, and of course the issue of time has been, one that is causing a lot of concern, not just for the IEBC, but also for Kenyans. And the audit of the voter register was just the first event of their new schedule. Perhaps, do we know what other timelines they are working in with regard to the activities in the run-up to the election?
Yes, what we are witnessing is, I think, maybe a case of having bitten more than we could chew as a country, because remember the opposition from as early as 2014, they started pushing the agenda of IBC reform, but the government was not keen. They wanted, among other things, the national dialogue that they wanted was to have IBC reformed. That one didn't happen. It took a series of machozi Mondays that claimed lives of several Kenyans and pressure from the international community. The government finally gave in and said, fine, we have to do away with the current commission. And again, the whole process took time. It has lagged behind. Remember, they wanted to have a new commission in place by 30th September. Now that one didn't happen. Apart from the audit exercise that now will start on Monday to run until 18th January 2017, IBC has also put in place a massive voter registration exercise that will be kicking off from 16th January 2015 to run to 15th February 2015. That is another month-long exercise that IBC has rolled out its time frame. At the same time, from 1st to 15th February, the voters in diaspora or Kenyans in diaspora who would want to vote in the 2017 election will also be registered within that period. Remember that in 2013, they tried with those ones within the East African community. I think they participated by voting at the various embassies of Kenyan embassies, and therefore they want to factor in more, and that them they will also be registered between 1st to 15th February. And then there is the time frame that they've put in place, the political parties primaries. That should be from 13th April to 26th April. That is another period that they've put in place. And then there will be the voter register verification process. That one, according to the law, it should happen 90 days before the election. Now, 90 days to the election, or the election date is 8th of August. When you calculate coming back 90 days, it means it's around 8th to 10th May 2017. So those are some of the timelines that IBC has been forced to review. And of course, the most interesting bit in all this is the party primaries. Now, IBC has clearly said in the new law that was put in place, they haven't actually given room for disputes that will arise from the nomination exercise. And as such, you are done and dusted if you happen to be shortchanged at that level when they're doing the nominations. We've seen what Jubilee has gone through this week. It wasn't easy, it has been chaotic, and this is just the picking of interim officials. Now you can imagine the whole exercise, and as far as IBC is concerned, there is no time frame that has been allocated when disputes that will arise from the nomination exercise can be handled, which means aspirants who will lose at that exercise will not have room to seek redress, and therefore you are done when you lose on that particular day when your party will be doing the primaries, which will be a very dangerous precedent, because we know a lot of monkey tricks are put in place. There are some aspirants that are actually denied what is rightfully theirs, and therefore it's through the disputes through the political parties tribunal that some of them actually are able to get what is rightfully theirs. So those are some of the timelines that IBC has put in place, and to be honest, time is not on their side. The commissioners are not in place, and therefore they are walking a tight rope. It's like a home where children are on their own. There are no parents. So that is how the secretariat is operating. And here the opposition has come out with guns blazing that they are going to puncture the first attempt. That is the audit exercise. So we'll see what will fall in place, Sharon.
Thank you very much. Our senior political affairs reporter there, Duncan Kayamba.